Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P-Funk. Thinking right out here in the lab, but in the book. Well, I got a nice message. It's going to be quick, but the title is The Keys to Reading and Understanding a Myth. Stay tuned. Let's rock. Rightism, 25 rule to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in the story for life. I give you life lessons. You tune in to receive them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission, and I'm on it, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking way of life through mental and spiritual discipline practiced daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. You see where we're going with this? Let's get that together. So I asked the question, do you know you? You will when I get through, because that's what I do. It's rhetorical, but if you don't have the answer for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not, and knows not that they know not, is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not, they're simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do. For you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous, avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know, spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm your spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself and always to my eye. Be true. I've been telling you about the myth. I broke it down, psychomythology. Now I'm going to give you hopefully a clearer and better understand, because it's the 4 keys, I think it is. Yep, 4 keys to understanding myth. First of all, listen to this, all my Christian loving friends, and I love you, by C.G. Jung, born 1875, died 1961. He's the Swedish psychologist who everybody just takes what he says to be law. Modern term. He says, religion without myth not only fails to work, but it also fails to offer man the promise of unity with what? The transpersonal, aka God, and eternal bliss. If you don't have that to offer, what's the purpose? What's the reason of life? You have none. That's why the myths are important, to motivate, inspire. The same thing I do. Preachers do it all the time. But if you think the story is just, stop giving my lesson. Let me teach the reading from the book. All right, here we go. We're in the book. Now let's talk about key number 1. Myth. Religious, mystical, are relevant to our lives in the present. Storytelling, folklore, culture, all that's tradition. So it's been passed down. I just went and got our original. I didn't take the biblical, Islamic, whatever. No, I did Frank Lucas. I went to the source, so to speak. If you understand the concept, I went to the originators and got it what I needed, no problem. Now I'm trying to give it to y'all, and it's a big problem moving on, but it's good stuff. No, let's go. So let's go. The first and the most important key for my right thinkers to understanding a myth is what? Comprehending. If you don't get the concept, if it ain't registered with you, you're going to have problems. In comprehending what? That the myth is not talking about some ancient personality, no, or some story which occurred a long time ago. Again, no, and which has no relevance to the present. Everything I got is old. Moving on. In fact, the myth is speaking about you. I tell you that all the time. My right thinking philosophy is about what? My life, my experiences that I can talk about. Why? I've experienced it. I know that. Simple. But it is a story about human life. So I'm pretty much on point when I was doing, even I had a concept that I set for myself, but it was wrong, I still had a good understanding. And I was doing what I thought was best for me. And its origins, its destiny, its plight, and the correct actions in the present, which is all based on what? The same principles. Again, these are principles from what? The past. They haven't changed. My yacht is still my yacht. I practice it to this day. It's the same philosophy. Haven't changed a bit. But I'm gonna let that go. Yeah, I'll leave it there. But for leading you for you to have a truly successful life, which paves the way to what? Spiritual enlightenment, aka true happiness, or nihas, or whatever else you want to call it, know thyself. That's the myth job, to get you to understand, and then you implement. Church, if you don't practice what they're teaching you, you don't get the myth. Same thing. I'm going to comment there. I get excited, but it's the same thing. You can use whatever you need to get to God. It's 9 billion people on this earth. It's 9 billion ways to get to God. Each one got figured out for himself. There's a way. Moving on. For all of us. Okay, nobody special. Ain't no chosen one. No. Again, I hate that nonsense. Key number 2. Myth is a spiritual journey, or a journey of spiritual transformation. Meaning you're going to live it. You're going to actually put yourself in that, and you're going to live that. You're going to walk the walk, so to speak. And everybody's life is a mystery until what? Until they live it. That's the key to life. That's the mysteries. You got to live it. Again, I learned our ancient ancestors' philosophy to what? To practice it, to live it. I've done that. Moving on, trying to get you to understand. I'm not problem with the new stuff. I just know the old stuff. And my son tell me, Dad, that right thing is cool, but I'm still going with what you gave me. Thank you, appreciate it. Moving on. So even back then, I had some understanding. The second key to understanding a myth is the comprehension. Where we at? Okay, and watch this. To realize that it is usually written in a form of a journey. Again, put yourself in that predicament. It's going to be different than what somebody say or the myth tell you, but it's your own. Now, your journey becomes your story. And in which what? You, the subject, must learn about what? Yourself, him or herself. And then you're able to what? Transcend what? From the ordinary, ignorant human consciousness state, and thereby being able to discover what? Your greater essence of yourself, aka your higher self. We call it Haru, the spirit when it's at its best, at the highest point. In this movement, there are experiences for every individual of what? Happiness, sorrow, struggle, and the learning. But it is all in a movement from what? Ignorance and darkness. Remember, the dark side. Some people like the dark side. He was comfortable in the dark side. For a while, I was too. So I had to get up out of it. Why? I need some light. So I'm not comfortable in the dark. There's a lot of things I don't have no problem in the light, transparency. Moving on, but this is the concept. But it is a movement from what? Ignorance, meaning not knowing, and darkness, meaning you ain't really know what you're doing, towards what? Light, wisdom, and your ultimate what? Spiritual enlightenment. Ding, 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 ding. When I got that, all I wanted to do was help somebody else get it. That's why I'm here every day. Okay, that's my story. I'm sticking with it. It ain't changed. Number 3. The third key. Myths are to be, my favorite, lived. AKA, in order to understand the true meaning of it, you have to implement it. The lesson I'm giving you, you have to implement them. The lesson I learned, I implemented them. So I have experience. Yeah, I get see. That's how I get amped up. Why? Because this is the real deal, and this is all it is. You can learn any philosophy, practice it, make it yours. Now you know. You ain't got to believe nothing. You should know for yourself. Why? If you're experienced, that's how you know. Moving on. But the third key to understanding a myth is that what? Your comprehension comes how? From what? Living it. I can tell you till I get blue in the face about a whole bunch of stuff that means nothing to you until what? You implement it and try it yourself. I tell you, practice a week of Maya, doing the right thing for the right reason, not for yourself, not for what you want, but for what's right, and see what you get. And from living the myth. Living a myth does not mean simply reading about the myth, being able to quote it and all the scripture running around. Yeah, verse so and so, this, that, and the third. Are you living it? The respect I have for my pastor and my Christian family, they live what they believe. I ain't got a problem with that. I personally respect and love that. Why? I ain't got a problem because I live what I believe. Simple. You have the right to do that. Okay, my job to tell you what you should believe. No, I ain't ever gonna do that. But the third key is the understanding, what the comprehension that comes from only experiencing it. You can't get it no other way. And the myth does not simply mean reading it, knowing about it, but being able to recount the events with perfect memory. You Bible verse quoters, that's cool. But are you manifesting? Are you living it? Simply practicing the ritual of the myth without a deeper understanding of their real implications and the purpose. If you go to church every week, and your life ain't got no better, you still there begging and crying and praying for this, that, and the third. Church ain't working. God ain't on the job. Could it be you and what you do? Moving on. That's what it's predicated on. You could be Christian, Muslim, Jew, don't make a difference. If you ain't sincere to what you're doing, God knows that. But it means that you making the essence of the teachings now being conveyed to you through the myth, make that an integral part of your life. Work it in. Work it in. I've been telling you that for years, 6 now. If this practice is not implemented, if it ain't practiced and used, what happens? Then the teachings, the information I'm giving you remain at what? Intellectual level. Yeah, I know it. I get my thing. I understand what it means. I get the point. Yeah. Well, are you living it? Well, my point taken. But it's just at the intellectual level, like you Bible verse quoters. If you just knowing it and ain't living it, don't mean nothing. But you learn and you live it, at the intellectual level, and you have the deeper truth of what? The myths are not revealed to you. Why? Because you ain't implementing it. You really don't know. You just believe. But if you ain't experience it, why would you continue to believe something that you didn't experience? One lives with dry intellectualism, or what they call blind faith, right there. To just believe something is crazy. And the former leading to what they call superficial. And therefore, you're frustrated in your spiritual life. If you're praying, you're going to church, and you pray, oh Lord. But you ain't putting no work in outside of church. You ain't doing nothing for God to recognize you. What makes you think you're going to get that prayer answered? I can vouch for God answered prayer. I put that lesson out. Why? I know for myself. I don't care what you think and how you feel. Your experience is yours. Mine is mine. I can tell you mine, and mine is good. It's like get through it. Excuse me. But if you believe that God don't answer prayers, you speak for yourself. You can't speak for nobody but yourself. And if that's your experience, that's fine. But you might want to, if God done did all this other stuff and ain't answered your prayers, that's God's fault. I'm just saying. Again, these are keys to understanding the myth. The myth is to point you in the right direction. You got to put the work in. And watch this. Now, your spiritual life is frustrated. And at the latter, leading to what? Dogmatism, and your emotional frustration. All you want to do is jab about something and constantly arguing and back combative with what you believe. Okay, how you living? So therefore, you yourself must resolve to discover the myth in every facet of your life to play it out for what it's intended, to get you to understand for yourself. And watch this. And in doing so, now you yourself will be triumphant in what? As the hero in what? Your own life, like the myth. You're your own hero. Haru is hero in disguise. That's you becoming your best self. I've been telling you that for years. Let me wrap it up. Key number 4. Myths point you the way to what? A victory in life. What? Know thyself. Gain self-knowledge. Work on self-mastery and be your best self. That's the purpose of the myth and the storyteller in all religions. I tell you that all the time. Okay, moving on. I just call it philosophy. Y'all call it religion. Still the same thing. You got to practice whatever it is they teaching. Okay, myths show us what our heritage. That's how I went and got our heritage, not what they're giving us as a culture, as well as what the legacy we have to what receive. They give human beings a place in the scheme of things, as well as a purpose in life and the means to what? Achieve fulfillment of that purpose. To gain what? Knowledge of self. To become what? An enlightened being. Why? Because that's the only way spirit go back to the maker. That's why. In the ultimate purpose, in this physical life, we're spiritual beings having this human experience for a reason. And watch this. The ultimate purpose and the reason is to achieve victory where? In the battle of this physical human life that we got to be dealing with. And to defeat the forces of what? You ready? Egoism, aka ignorance. Where is it? Within oneself. Tell you the moral battle is between Haru and Set. One good, one selfish. Which one are you? Your choice. And watch this. In the ignorance within inside oneself, which leads to either adversities and frustrations, and thereby what? Becoming masters of a life here and even what? Hereafter. When you're discovering your undifferentiated peace, supreme peace, hotel, love and joy, that's spiritual enlightenment. That's knowing thyself, aka we called it nihas, Mokshi, Mokta, whatever, Nirvana. Everybody got a word for it, but the idea is to achieve it. And they all say the same thing, that, achieve it, call it what you want. And the word God, wrapping it up, my man Joseph Campbell, myth teller, God is a metaphor for what? For a mystery. Again, our life that we live in the physical form that transcends all human categories of thought. It depends on how much you want to think about it, whether or not it's doing you any good. If what you practice it, you're not prospering, why practice it? If you're working out and ain't getting better, why are you working out? Maybe you're doing something wrong. Okay, that's what they're telling you. And what's this? Whether it's putting you in touch with the mystery, which is what? The ground of your own being, the essence of who we are, to know thyself. That's the purpose of being in human form. We come here to what? Transform from what? Ignorance to enlightenment of oneself while in the physical form. You can slice it and dice it any way you want and still come out the same. You got to put the work in. That's the game. That's the fact of life. And watch this. And thus, when you're comparing the myths of different cultures, and everybody have it, for the purpose of religious studies, it is what? It is necessary to really truly understand their respective metaphorical aspects as well as their attendant underlying philosophies, along with their apparent iconographical form and their artistry and the intent, be it naturalistic or stylized. Religion, from a Christian perspective, has been stylized. Our ancients had a more neutral, naturalistic concept, meaning they was in tune with nature. Western civilization competing with nature. That's a fight man will never win. That's the concept. That's the lesson I'll be back with. Oh, I got one more lesson. Other aspects of myths. I'll be right back. And in closing, right thinkers, may you all live to be 100, me 100 miles a day. So I never knew that my right thinkers who understand myths have passed away. I'll be right back.